Hey you guys, today's video is a full face of drugstore makeup that I think looks high-end. This stuff either has a finish that I like or it's a really nice color for me. It's just everything about these products I love, and I think that it looks like it's expensive, but it's really not. So if you guys want to see what products I used and how I achieved this face, then just keep on watching. So I started by applying Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. I think that this really reminds me of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I just did a full video on this and you can see me applying this concealer in that video. Next, I applied foundation. I used the Physicians Formula The Healthy Foundation in the shade LW2, and then I mixed in some of the LA Girl Pro Color Foundation Mixing Pigment, and that's because I feel like a lot of drugstore makeup tends to run too pink or cool toned or neutral toned, and my skin tone is really yellow and it has a nice warm undertone. So if I'm using high-end foundations, it usually matches my skin tone perfectly because I think that they put some more effort or time into making colors more suited towards my type of skin tone. So I mixed in the LA Girl pigment to make it look a little bit more like a high-end foundation, and the Healthy Foundation I think has a really high-end finish because it's like a nice natural finish. It doesn't look too matte and it doesn't look too shiny, so I really like that one and I think that it looks high-end. Next, I use this Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I used it in the shade 16 Deep Beige. I think that this looks like a high-end powder because it's just like a very nice bronzing shade for my skin tone. A lot of bronzers at the drugstore tend to look way too pink or way too orange on me, and this one is just like a very nice perfect color for me. It also has a texture that's very high-end. Next, I put on this Wet n Wild highlighting powder in the shade Bloom Time. I've tried out a bunch of these Wet n Wild powders, but they tend to not look very good on my skin tone, but this one, for some reason, it just looks really good on my skin. I think a lot of drugstore highlighters can tend to look really powdery, or they can have really like large glitters in them. It has a really nice texture and formulation that makes it look really high-end. Next, I put on this Wet n Wild Mellow Wine blush. I really like this because it's not like overly pigmented, but it's just really smooth and easy to blend out. This one isn't too crazy of a product. It's just something that I think looks like high-end. Next, I did my brows with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. This one I talked about in an earlier video. It is an exact dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz, so that's why I think that this one looks high-end. For mascara, I use the NYX Worth the Hype mascara. This one I like because it makes my lashes really fluffy. It doesn't make them like wiry and plastic feeling, which is what a lot of drugstore mascaras do. So I think that this one looks really high-end because it just looks like fluffy, and like my natural lashes are enormous. This NYX mascara though is the waterproof version, which I actually prefer the regular version more. This one actually gives my lashes a little bit more of that like plastic feeling, plastic look, which I don't like as much. So the high-end looking mascara is actually the non-waterproof one. For my bottom mascara, I use this Wet n Wild Skinny Mascara. I'm really bad at not getting mascara all over my lower lash line, so this one is really helpful for that reason as well, which I think makes it look more high-end if I don't have mascara smudges all over. And lastly, for lips, I use this L'Oreal Color Riche Shine lipstick in 900 Glossy Fawn. This one is really expensive looking, I think, because it's really shiny and smooths out your lips, and I just think it looks high-end, and that's really just what I believe. And yes, I did completely forget to put on eyeshadow because I don't really wear eyeshadow like on a daily basis. All I did was put this little brown shade in my crease and then this Zoya shade all over my lid, and this is the Juvia's Place the Saharan palette. This one is really good, and I think that it's like a really good dupe for high-end makeup because the shimmer shades are really intense and the matte shades are so soft, very buttery and very blendable, so that's why I think that it's a nice little dupe for high-end eyeshadow. So that is it for my little tutorial on drugstore makeup that I think looks like high-end makeup. I hope that you guys found this helpful, and if you do think that these are good comparisons, if you think that this does look like a high-end face, then let me know by giving this a thumbs up or leave me a comment down below. I would appreciate it so much, and I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.